Hey guys, it's the Lord here, back in with another action figure review of the epic H.A.C.K.s Court of the Dead Death Master of the Underworld, brought to us by the fine folks over at Boss Fight Studios. That's right, it's a boss fight video on my channel. It's not a freaking Popeye figure for once. That said, this is in collaboration with the fine folks over at Sideshow Collectibles, who created the Court of the Dead characters, Death here being one of them. There is one wave of these out right now. It's got Death and this little lady here. This is Kyr or Kyr, the Valkyrie of the Dead. Kind of looks like could be his daughter. But at any rate, these are the two you can get right now. They're in stock on Big to Bad Toy Store. That's where I got mine. Kyr or Kyr is about 45 and Death is, I think, 50. Wave 2 of these is a little bit more expensive. That has a Grim Reaper looking dude, even more so than this guy, and a armored chick. And I do have those pre-ordered. Those are supposed to be out sometime next year, probably in the spring or the summer, if I had to guess. But before I get too far ahead of ourselves, why don't we cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review and take a look-see at all Death has to offer in terms of accessories, starting off with the figure stand, which he fits into quite nicely. And does spread the legs out a little bit, so it's a nice dynamic display stand. We also have a couple of pointer hands, which all the fingers appear to be separate from one another, even the thumbs. So if you wanted to, you could put a weapon in these hands, and none would be the wiser. And we also get these two cast you into the abyss hands. At least that's what they look like to me. He's got his two pointers there. Now those might actually be, yeah, those appear to be together as one solid piece. Very, very cool. We get a couple different sets of hands. Nothing I'm going to use probably, but cool nonetheless. Then we also get his scythe, which had a warped blade, but I used a hairdryer and straightened that out to the best of my abilities. And then you did have to attach it down here, but I'm not going to take that apart. Oh, actually it comes apart quite easily. Yeah, I did have to heat this part up to get it to snap together, but it snaps together just fine now. But it's a very crooked scythe. This looks like it's made out of deer antler or something. Very, very wild. It's not the tallest scythe. His hat goes higher than it, but it's big enough, that's for sure. Yeah, that's what she said. We've heard the jokes. That said, that's all you get for accessories, so kind of light. That said, you do get this kind of shawl piece with the cape connected to it. There's no like clips or anything on this, so it does just kind of flop around on him, but I don't mind that because it allows you to really take a look-see at what you're getting here. In worst case scenario, you'll pop his head off and put a cape around his neck. Kind of surprised it doesn't go around his neck, but I do like that it's easy to take off. But as far as his articulation goes, his head can look up and down pretty well. He's got a double ball peg on that, and then a single ball peg on the neck. So you can get all kinds of grotesque, undead, Grand Poobah poses, because look at this guy. He looks like a Grand Poobah of darkness or something. Shoulders can pop out to the side. He's got the beautiful butterfly. That's new for boss fight. Does swing back pretty well. Forward. Not that far. You do have some back plate action there, but it's kind of how your body works, so I don't mind that too much. We'll rotate full 360. He's got a bicep swivel here. And he's got an elbow swivel here, single jointed elbows that are detented. swivel hinge wrist. He does have the correct hinge for holding weapons, which is nice. Torso is on a diaphragm joint here, which will move back and forth, twist side to side. It can also crunch back and forth a little bit, but you get most of your tilt in the waist. There's a lot of really good forward and back in the waist. There's the down, there's the back. It does twist and it does rotate. So that's all fine and dandy. Hips, kick forward and back. Actually shift this belt up so you can get them up a little higher. Shift them forward, shift them back, shift them out. He does have a thigh cut in there. I will say, he does not have squeaky hips either. Kyr does. I'm not sure why that is, but we'll talk about that more in her review. Got double jointed knees. That work pretty well. Get a full bend out of that. For an armored guy, that's not bad. And he has ball hinged ankles. That will rotate. And they will hinge back and forth. And he does have a little bit of rocker in there. Now this side was stuck on mine. I had to heat it up, pop it out, but rest assured it's fine now. It works. But it was a little tricky at first. Just a little bit. But standing him at his maximum height here. He is an imposing fella, that is for sure. Get his cape to sit right. I like to have his cape draped over his shoulders like Batman. Like Batman? What was that? That was a fail. That is what you call that, kiddies. I like his cape draped over his shoulders like Batman. He looks regal. He looks evil as shit. This is what he looks like. I wouldn't want to mess with this dude. He looks like Necronominus's nephew or something. Like this is a Mythic Legions thing, which just imagine if they made Court of the Dead figures. Oh boy, I'm going to be double dipping. But at any rate, this figure is rad. I think he's pretty cool. And man oh man, I could not wait for that Exalted Reaper General, as I think his name, in Wave 2. Because he's like Skeletor with 3 arms on one side, and he's all armored up like a Black Knight with a big ass, I think, scythe or sword or something. He's freaking the Overlord figure if I ever saw one. But before I wrap things up with some final thoughts here, let's bring in our 2 regulars. Mythic Legions, Brother Mandibilith. Speaking of Mythic Legions and 4 Horsemen, as well as the infamous 11th Spawn, who, if we count his hat, does not tower over everyone, but if we don't count his hat, he does tower over everyone. But as you can see, he's a good enough scale. I think he fits with these other lines, especially Mythic Legions. I think that's probably the place he fits the best. So, with that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up. Some final thoughts. Overall, and as far as the Grand Poobah of Death is concerned, yeah, this is definitely going to be a contender for one of my top figures of the calendar year 2025, for those of you watching this in the future, because if it's called Death, Master of the Underworld, there's a 99.98% chance I'm going to like it. Unless you're trying to make a knockoff My Little Pony, and for whatever reason, that's the name you picked. Maybe that's a Robot Chicken reference. But at any rate, I like this figure. Is it perfect? No. I still think Boss Fight Studios has some growing pains to work through, but I'm not disappointed with this figure. I think it's a little bit expensive for what you're getting, but I'm not disappointed. Nothing's overly loose. Nothing feels like it's going to break, other than that one ankle I had an issue with, but that's probably an isolated incident on my figure, and hey, I was able to heat it up and fix it, so At the end of the day, if it's a fixable problem, I'm not going to dock points for it, but I'm also going to point it out. That way you know, going into it, what you're getting into. So, with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.